It's 7 o'clock, so can we make start? And I welcome you to the March meeting of the Finance and Employment and Services Committee. Have we any apologies?
Yeah, I've got apologies from Councillor Wildman and Councillor Howell.
Any declarations of interest? Apart from one I have then to leave. One of the the lease extension. I don't have a pecuniary interest, but because I am involved with the town council and the bowling trust, I intend not to take part. I'll stay in the room, and if you want any questions answering, I'll try and answer them, but I do not intend taking part in the decision. That is it. It's up to you for. Other than that, if no one else does any information there, we move on to the item 4 for the minutes. Can someone prove or comment on or whatever you want to do with the minutes of the last meeting, please? Good. That's what question. Not taking further. Okay. Public forum. There is no public. Exclusion of public just applies to the last item, which is item 14. I did ask the question whether with Gina whether we thought one of the correspondence we needed to put in private, but I think we decided no.
By the way, we're on service side and we leave it.
Is that the note?
Yes.
Are you any feelings on it? Should it go into private or the stay where it is? Well, we can stay where it is. So, moving on, item 7, financial update. Alice.
Just a question. Initially the budget was 58, then it was raised to 80, and for road spend, it's 3 o'clock. Yeah. So what was the reason for increasing?
We actually use the non-reserve to put the tree trail at roadside. Whether we have to pay all of that yet. So that could be, that's where that is, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if it happened that we didn't need to spend it all, then obviously we can transfer that back.
Anyone else? Questions on?
Yeah, during this time of year, we always have prepayments for following years, that's just sort of payment, etc.
That's also paying.
Yes, yeah, so there is that element. So once the prepayments have gone through, then we'll get a true picture of what's it.
Any more questions on how they can equal a seat?
Well, no, just go back to. What's this thing on where that's.
Maybe it would take you and once to sleep.
The sum, right?
We did take the amount reserve out.
Oh, okay. That's where it, 62%. 58 is. 58. I guess it's one see most of it. Near the 100%.
The neighbourhood plan one has a prepayment thing. So that's, yeah, that's what that is, that's why that's all.
But they're real plans to get over 2 years.
Yeah, the proposal was over,
Yeah.
the financial. Yeah. Because the purchase order's gone in, it's gone to the lower invoice fee. So it's all committed.
Yeah, but if you look at the actual inclusion, it's 19,000.
Generally.
The actual spending, about 19, which is 87. So you're. Yeah, you're right, something quite right up there.
Suggested to see that he has a look at that before it goes to full council in 2 weeks.
Push shelters were way up. Spend more on this.
Yeah.
Just on the playgrounds and bush shelters, I'm guessing some of the contracts, people are on, up to date, are they?
I have put them on,
Yeah.
yeah, it's at the end of March, yeah.
Just push shelters seems a long way up.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of the ones on the high street now, don't they? So, we just have the others who will have put a budget in case we need it to replace bush shelter or, we haven't needed to, so. Was one that would collapse, but else the, replace.
We're going to talk about it for again. No, the bottom of we fixed the glass.
But they've all got that.
We want to be.
Basically, we will have to get.
We ought to, well, that's not an excuse. If the glass is not in, we should replace it. If it keeps getting broken, talk to the neighbourhood body. Say, come and look at it, because that way, the match will be. And they shouldn't.
But I would suggest we wait until LCC and all work that they're doing that.
The only two we are from between the Crown to one outside the Crown and the one outside the opposite side of the community. That's fine. If there are bush shelters going Harrison Drive, and you've got two. There's the one on Ruskin's got that's missing, the one on don't know about the one Skipton Road following the new houses. Whether that's not enough valuable shelters to be repairing. But not like being a budget and understanding it by heart. Having bush shelters, no, that's it. Not those.
The Harrison Drive hasn't had a classic for about 8 years, because the last time it was repaired, it got broke again the day after, and it got that 4 times in a month. It got new glass in 4 times in a month, the day after it broke.
But if it's so long ago, you should try it again.
I was told by the previous car that council made a decision to delay.
Well, in that case, the budget's right. So we can't be bothered. So while this budget there, we shouldn't be replacing in the window. We should be replacing glass or respect or whatever it is we put in the bush shelf. There's other ones, they just look tempting. They look as if nobody cares about them. They look as if nobody cares for people. Think nobody cares for that much special. I think we ought to try again to get some repair. I don't get the, show the minute says we're not going to repair.
Well, I don't know, that's fine.
No, well,
And that's what I've worked from.
in that case, we've got 50% of the budget plus 50% to repair it. So I suggest we repair it. In fact, I will move that we repair.
Did the budget get reduced when the county took it something?
Well, sorry, Chair, that's irrelevant. Budget we have at the minute is 31,500. In fact, it's gone up because the budget for the first of April was round figures 28,000, and it's now 32,000. We've added 4,000. So, and we're still underspent by more than
There's
50%.
still Leah's wage going. Still a portion of Leah's wage to go in there.
She isn't 50% of that.
No, but I'm saying that would be.
Well, yeah, but one still stand that we haven't, we're often saying, well, we haven't got the money to do it. But in this case, with the money to do it, we haven't done something, which is the wrong way around. So I think we should get whoever the new bush shelter person is, or get the old ones to go mend the field and then get the new one mending if it's the budget to do it.
Are you saying that you want glass in the bush shelter?
Yes.
Railroad stuff.
Don't mind whether it's glass or perspex. Something that will be enduring, but I think it would be brilliant if they can have something in there, because obviously I am a person that stands up bush shelters quite regularly, and without glass or perspex, it is all And I didn't think we had any money, but listening to this, we have. So I would suggest if we've got it, we should spend it on what was happening. And if it was 8 years ago when all this was happening, that's a long time ago. So I would second proposal that we did in fact spend money on defence. And when one opposite community gets a little bit tatty inside, then
We have
perhaps-
actually got a quote.
yeah.
One disadvantage of putting that. There it is, it's in the meeting. Really, is bigger in. That's a sad issue, because that's there.
Do we have a second bit of glass? Because I would probably suggest not to put glass there.
No.
I put curtains in.
Glass,
If you put perspex in, it'll fade eventually, and it's bad to get graffiti off, but it will last longer than glass will.
yeah. Glass,
The other thing is glass, if it's smashed, it causes a hazard. And if it's on a weekend, you have to come on.
well, you can get shattered. Again,
Yeah, it's quite, but
no, there's very good. Anyway, we've. We're not breaking it on, lighting it up. You know, for glass in inverted commas, glass or whatever suitable alternative.
Just one other thing on bush shelters, while I was putting it on bush shelters. The one at bottom of Venables was missing for quite a while. And then because of some money from the lower roof development, county have put a new one there out of the 106 one. Are we clear now county's put a new bush shelter there, whether they're looking after it or whether we are? They're looking after it. I just wanted to clarify it, that was, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So two of them on there now are actually counties. Because the one at the bottom of St. Stephen's is there as well.
I'm sure.
That never has been. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Going on Barron Road,
yeah, no.
going east to the one on the left hand side isn't ours, the one on the right hand side is.
Yeah, no.
do we have a proposal and a second bit for the actual?
That's it.
I propose it.
The both there.
Yeah.
And that's road three, Airbnb.
Yeah.
Okay, those in favour? Thank you. Down, council financial risk register.
So the items in purple are the bits that have been changed. None of the actual values have been changed.
This is top. I think we make a decision. If it's on A. And it's
Oh, yeah.
that's sorry. Thanks, because
You mean that A4 sheet should have been A3 or when you is that what you said?
well, yeah, well, I think all of them should be because I've tried printing out. You can't read. Well, you can read it from his out. He's not. So anything that is on, you've got A3 because we printed it off here. Anything that's on A3, you've got to have copies of that.
I was thinking, seeing you get them digitally.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that, but again, you can't because
You can't see the one.
you've only got, you can't look at that and that. I mean, most times at the full council, it doesn't matter. But on this, it was just virtually impossible. Set. Even difficult to read. Well,
This is just how I've presented it in the past, but no one else has said it. It was,
some of the things,
yeah,
it became, I noticed it more because at the last council meeting, or one of the recent council meetings on another part of this thing, they were here, so you could ask all. I'm not going to say the penny drop, the jobs drop, because there's an interest on the way down. But trying to do it on the airport is.
No one else.
Comments of the council. But just really the only the easy sheet theory, which is the one that's over here already. There's only Blues Festival, which still is the risk that
That is without a doubt the speaker's risk.
but you can't mitigate half of those risks. You know, we can't mitigate if headline does what do you call it, something like meeting pressure. There's no way you can control that. If at the moment they were in Dubai or Doha, things like no way we got so there's no way. No.
there was a mention, I know, on the corporate meeting, that some of the end sections, that if they still say ongoing, that take credit for that for the middle bit. But my argument there is that, yes, it is ongoing, but if we suddenly stop doing that, then it would go back up to the high figure. So that's why I still keep that in the column and that's it.
Thank you. I personally think that's the way it should be presented. And we have to do this sort of thing within a much more maybe mechanical things, processes. You have to do it like that. Because if you control this property there, it's the island. It goes out to not if go out to small. And you just don't like it, Greece, property, sort of all things. Don't leave it there. Show that you remember it, and that's a crucial part of it. But you should give yourself you should see no, you don't get a pat on the back.
I think in fairness, the only things that are left with the red are things that we have absolutely no control over, and we can only mitigate as best we can.
you know. Eventually, how do you, so maybe you're gonna buy, you have this, will you? So prices are going up, that is no problem. It's, we send it to,
Yeah, that's it. Those in favour? Go down council, internal controls,
And we have the,
we're taking them together.
we can take them one at a time.
Yeah.
The only reason why I added the reserves and tracing management was that whilst I was doing the internal controls, I think a lot of it cross reference. So, yeah, it was more beneficial to do both. So.
thank you. The other bits of change.
Yeah.
It's the get device, it's still language.
Do we need to do it? And I think we're going to go to ask you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understood it's not on the city close. I've checked, it wasn't on the list, unless that's changed in the last.
It isn't on the imminent list, is it?
No.
No,
No.
no.
It's just when.
No, that's it,
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think it could be a major thing if nearest to Blackburn, because I think they're going to go up twice a year to be fair, don't we?
There's not going to be an issue.
Because we don't really, apart from blues and things, don't really deal in cash. We don't use checkbooks. So, generally. So, it's all electronic, so if we go twice as far, and to Blackburn, it's only twice a year, isn't it? We don't suppose it's a major thing. It'll probably be more of a major thing having the up moving banks. Because it keeps bad enough when you move your own personal account, you don't need it. Moving one with all our payments, it's probably be horrendous.
I have occasion on Saturday to go into the South, to go to the South County Bank in Burnley. Sort of car. There are actually 6 ATMs. It's 4 or 5, there's 2 on that side, 4 or 5 others.
But at most banks now, when you go, even with a branch, you can do it yourself inside, there's still no staff there to do it.
Oh, yeah,
You
no.
can more or less do it yourself anyway. So, have we any comments on these? Because it'll have to go to.
Just ask about page 5, Blues Festival Advisory Committee. That seems to have been inserted new point. What were we doing before that?
It was it quarterly?
So we used to meet here quarterly.
I think the Blues Festival, yeah, it's because we didn't do the Blues Festival a couple of years ago, and we were thinking that we were going to pass it on to someone else. So I think that got taken out. So I just reinserted it back in, and that was.
I think at the last meeting, it was one Blue Society didn't want to keep coming and doing that one. And they were, they were pushing back against it. And we said, look. Oh,
Yeah, rather than. Yeah,
rather than separate committee.
I think it was decided that you were gonna have one beginning of August, or, and then one afterwards, just to feedback from the
And the rest of
president.
it would just be.
And then just be
May.
the next.
Yeah, it's and I wasn't actually at that meeting, but. No, it's just going to be part of the event now, yeah.
So there won't be a blue advisory committee at all.
No, it's going to be big meeting biannually.
It can only be one or the other, can't it? You can't have some of the business going to events and some of the business going to a bluesman, because different people contradict one another.
So, I mean, there's an awful lot of money involved in the blues, just another time on the meeting. But it would be awful, it's like to be on the agenda for the event. But
It's on the updates on full council as well, every month. Obviously, if there are any issues, then. But as it is, the budget's agreed by full council initially anyway. And I think all that's happening at the meeting is just updating.
What you've got to remember is the advisory committee can't make any financial decisions. The events can. Which technically you couldn't have if you've any co-opted people on the advisory one, you couldn't be co-opted to events.
So the Blues Festival committee is just an advisory committee,
Yes, that's what it's exactly about.
but it's not.
It's not a standing
It's not,
committee.
yeah, it's not video.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's not a standing committee. So it can't have co-opted people. And I don't know whether you've any co-opted people on it or not, I don't know.
Not only one of the two people.
it's not conflicts.
Well, they'd have to be part of it anyway, because there's a partnership service again.
Oh. It's something that we will confident.
Well, if that's the case, then I think we should be fair to them. You know, and always move the blues to the front so that they don't have to hang about the whole thing, just to be fair to them.
Yeah.
Because they've a book to run out as well, you know.
Or if it's pushes the wrong word. We could maybe have a. I'm just thinking we've always got the scope to have an informal
Yeah,
meeting with them.
Yeah.
And members of, and then report it back to the events committee or that.
is there anything else on these?
There was, but I can't find it because I did somewhere towards the end of it. And maybe,
Which one, the management control or the other one?
no, the,
Reserves and
it was something towards the end, I can't find it.
Right at the end, it's just an appendices and
No,
guidance.
not on that.
Not that far.
On the delegated power, where you amend it is to our,
Yeah,
but it was one of those I can't find it. Yeah, well, no, it wasn't the yellow. It wasn't should have been the yellow. Yeah, I forgot to give the chair the capacity.
Do you remember what
It was something similar to that. It's, it was a,
right,
it was
so
a, just trying to avoid it coming up with the forecast something. It was
I'll have a double check through before.
meanwhile, if I
Yeah,
find
back.
Well, if someone like to move that we're referring to full council,
I'll
do it second, it. Those in favour? No. Town hall maintenance, we're counting number 200 as part of it.
Can do.
There's some scaffolding on the material on the floor,
Yes,
and there's a going to expense up the roof.
the roof of number 2, yes, there are some, slates that
Yeah.
are,
With the,
yeah, so there is some roof works on for that. The lads have leveled on the floor. So, you know, starting with the kitchen area, which is just more like a green making area really, rather than a kitchen. Not big enough.
We've also set up a novel within the properties to track shop improvement. Top of page 12, if anyone's interested, so everyone can take a quick look. A lot of the materials and any subcontractor invoices. Still think some of these left.
Yeah, that was right.
Could be. I noticed. And yesterday or the weekend. Actually see right. You see right. The stand for them. And you can see right through to the windows. Now it may be that the light is actually a street light or something from over the place. So,
Double check.
but they look to be alright.
do we have an idea how much to move for the cost?
I don't think it's a lot,
Purchase order on 2018.
oh,
There's obviously more to do beyond that.
I'm not sure, I wonder if that's it, then I think it was 2000. But yeah, I know it wasn't a huge amount.
It's the big prize.
Big. Well, we need to get, utility guys to come in and separate all the utilities, and then we're getting some guys to put the flooring in.
Is part of this, did the person that had it before, were they using only without utilities?
No, but we didn't have, for some reason, there's an electricity in there, but we need, water. Water. Don't know if job will be the same way for the upstairs. as the living room, yeah.
Yeah, the upstairs is a continuation of our stuff. We've had put down steps and on.
But we have the fire after there. for the shop. Well, to be honest, we were originally going to get a loan, weren't we? So, we're hoping obviously that by doing all of that, quite a bit. But rather than, obviously rather than getting a loan, we are now taking. The idea is to try and get someone in possible, yeah, because
As regards road though, I don't think until we got into the project, anyone really realised what we could do about it, did they? Because you wouldn't never went in it.
I don't think but I think the main work is going to be to replacing the front and restoring the retreading the window.
So now that scaffolding is there until 23. Are we going to be able to get everything done that needs the scaffolding, i.e. the front and the roof, for the scaffolding license expired?
That's one.
It's only 3 weeks, 3 weeks and goes.
We do a license.
You can.
You can't wish vacant. But while scaffolding is there, rather than break the scaffolding, take it down, put it back up with it as well, because they do it.
Yeah, but if it looks as if it is,
For the run out, but then
you know, the week before,
Yeah, we'd have to extend,
do it, then we have to.
because it costs an arm and a leg to take it down, take it away, and bring it back.
well, yeah.
Is there anything else on town hall maintenance, apart from doing all when they come in to fix the flagpole?
Yes, next Thursday. Can't get out on next Thursday.
Nothing.
I don't remember it. You know.
That's what he said, yeah.
Something like that. We have a new flag, but we couldn't replace it. We can't get the old one down.
Somebody taking it down, stuck up.
No, but I mean, the old flag is still up there.
Yeah, no, I, whether.
No, we tried to replace it, but we can't.
Well,
Yeah,
It won't
nice.
come all the way down. So, yeah.
When wind's howling and blowing and pulling in, dugging, and then it snaps and you can't get it down. That's part of it, not our own fault, but it's part of the council's fault over the years, because until about 30 years ago, the flag only was flown when it was, for some reason, the flag flag.
5 days ago.
Yes, and now it's there all the time, and it gets a lot more battery than it used to. And it was 2 particular councillors who, in their wisdom at the time, it sounded like a good idea, who lived across from me, decided they wanted it up every day here, and it's been up there every day here since. But that's why it was wrong. More. I'm not saying we shouldn't play it up down, but that's why it costs more, because it gets battered more with wind. You only use it up about what a dozen days a year, if that. The trouble is, well, it's up there all the time. When there's a special day come like St. George's Day, it doesn't seem special because there's a flag there all down here.
You do notice.
Yes, well, yeah, I'm not saying for a minute we shouldn't hate it all the time, but if we do, then you can expect more wear and tear on flag and more things go wrong. But it's usually broken praise, isn't it? More stand, then. Yeah, we do. So, if there's nothing else for town hall maintenance, can we know that? The 11 Correspondence received.
So this is because we try to get three votes. The one we didn't hear back from, the one. So. The elected proposal. Now we have provided two different, one's just for a 1 year, and the other is to stay in 3 years.
It's 3,000.
That's.
It's about 10%. Whatever it is.
I mean, the prices still go up. Because depending on, we have extra things to insure, etc., we get more equipment, and they do like an indexing anyway, but the actual underlying prices will not increase, the rates won't increase.
I think he's stuck on, I've left it on the print. Let's bring it with. I think, I'm assuming it was in it, and I'm assuming Stephen was. Through to that even, yes. When there's more or less say, the words in the pack, more or less says, you'd be daft.
No.
So with.
Yeah.
Yeah, or worse than that.
Yeah. And that Zurich, I mean, no insurance is their business, but particularly council insurance is their big parts of it. What the proposal wouldn't go with that. Happy to.
He did actually say that the reason why we managed to keep it so as we have is about things.
You work for 3 years.
Yeah. There was one thing about something was 500. And was extra, but I can't remember what. Or the screen looks at this. There was something that said there was. We should have something. Some cover. Not even, are you referring to something that was on, perhaps it's on that. It was on another. It's. So. Second, there's 3 blocks on there. On the page it was on, it was 3. But it's for covering if staff go off.
Oh, what you mean?
High quality insurance. What policy has? No. Maybe I need to train. Now, ignore that. You know, that key personnel cover, that's the law. Is that worth what's within the review? So, it's worth looking. Yes, that's what that's with the current insurance. Yes, it's added extra. So to speak. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
it
that's-
said it's 500, I would have thought 500, 22,000, whatever.
That's included
That-
within
that's
the law.
Is that already included?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
sorry, thank you.
I don't think that's been taken out.
No, it's an extra. Got the-
Yeah.
It's not an ex, it's, I think it's already included in
Yeah.
in
It
the
says
price.
they are pleased to announce that key personnel coverage is available as a paid option. So yes,
Oh, right,
that reason is proper. Sorry, that's the bit I read, paid option. That's, yeah.
oh, right, so you.
That's what I think is, if Steve falls down the stairs,
So are you moving that we go for the lower of the two payments on the 3-year package? And if it does not include that far, we take that as an optional extra and add it to it.
yes, because from what I see, correct me if I'm wrong, you get something like 450 quid a week for 3 months or something. Well, weekly benefit, all right, so it's a week, all right, that's better.
Yeah.
In the event of accident or assault on
Yeah.
a presumably, yes, so when you're carrying on the, Lloyd's banking,
Well, we don't know.
It's
that
500,
saying that, so,
it's just 500 quid.
no, that, the
that's
benefit,
benefit.
Oh, sorry, oh, I misread, all right, well,
so, yeah, it would depend, I mean, I've asked a question.
if it, yeah,
Find out how to check.
if it's a reasonable, you know, sorry, I'd have done better if I had picked a bit left.
So are we saying that they make enquiries and find out how much that extra cover is? And if it's reasonable, take that as well over 3 years.
Yes,
Who's going to decide if it's reasonable?
well,
Go to leave that for me and David.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what's the final thing, 22,000?
Is it 22? Right, okay.
22,594. We've got 23.
22, 594, 96.
Yeah.
Plus, whatever.
We're working that out. No,
Oh, what, you mean the extra?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah. If the whole package is 22,000,
Then that extra's.
that extras, yeah,
We'll find out, I'll ask a question and find
I would
out.
have thought it was
Yeah, I would have got to well. Okay, so we've got that down, have we? Those in favour? Thank you. Items for a future month's agenda. It's whatever the reason.
yeah.
And move on.
See,
Can we take a step backwards? Can you, as soon as it was correspondence, as soon as it came today, can you inform them what the situation is regarding the piece of memorabilia
yes,
we've got informed?
so, apparently, home borough charter has been found. It was in Nelson Hall, apparently. But they have it, we were thinking that maybe we could, it was, you know, we could frame it or whatever, but unfortunately it's like a T, and it's a big,
It's a scroll.
yeah. So it's not something that we can frame, really. But they said if you want to have a look at it, we can arrange it. But they're still deciding, obviously, what they're going to do with the area and the documents. But those is thing, but but they have that.
I think the only way it could go on display for Joe public to be able to see would be to have some sort of a glass case somewhere, because it's not the sort of thing you could put in a picture frame.
No, no.
It's bigger than A3, it's 4 pages, and it's not paper, it's like portion and stuff, so it does need protecting, doesn't it? If you're right in a glass case, mate.
Yeah, well, actually, part of the
No,
well,
Thick paper.
so if it's
But yeah, but the good news is that it has
I'm still going to argue the point that something down that irrespective of whether it goes on display here or not, whether it can be put on display, my argument is it still wants to come back here before some clown from Blackburn gets to take it over there.
Yeah.
where
Because it's already moved from here to Nelson and I think it's gone far enough away and it's time to get back. So we can still argue that point at some time in the future. But the offer was there, weren't it? If we wanted to develop the Nelson.
So I know.
Did we find any items for a future agenda?
Do you
No.
think you should have the pride of option?
Yeah,
that's
an update, yeah, obviously we're still waiting for an update.
But we'll definitely have it where we've
As soon as we, yeah,
it's, I thought that had been decided by.
apparently we won't get to know until the second week. in March. It's going to be exact.
It's what day is it? It's Thursday.
Okay.
It's 19th of March. And then it depends whether exec open anywhere. And you can't tell whether they're going to open anyway because obviously somebody's going to have to go through all these comments that are in, because it's out for consultation, isn't it? And I don't know what comments will be. That's when they said they would decide with 19.
I know Jonathan Henry put something out on
I don't think.
social media, I think. Asking people to stay what they want to do.
Well, Walter saying they want to scrap all lorry projects and do roads. We can save county council. Yeah.
No, but I read that the people are in favour. People.
Yeah,
And not in favour of things to do.
yeah,
It's all just.
I think the one that could be a bump title is the Warren one.
You think most people want that to be, the central code, you think that is the one.
Well, yeah, we could be doing, but
They thought somebody else should do it, but they want it done, but not. Somebody else.
even if they've only got 3 grand to spend. Right. Date down of the next meeting is the 7th of April. Exclusion of the public for the last item, just item 14. Public vote.
If you want coffee.
It's easy to bring your computer.
Well,
There's a lot of battery.